Okay. She just said seeing. And on the cruise, you were talking to a physicist, talking about what we can see through our eyes. And that made me think.
The vibration that you are translating through that format, yes.
Yeah.
Seeing is a confusing word.
Yeah, I understand. Because the only that I remember, the only clear time I was seeing someone non-physical was I'd done a long hospice vigil, and just as the woman passed, I saw her as a beautiful face of light going out, and I knew this was just a translation of vibration.
You got to know that you are here in this physical vessel with translators of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and that emotional center of knowing. Can you hear clearly? Most often when people are wanting to see something, it's from a place of some degree of doubt, wanting a visual proof that non-physical isn't about.
Right.
It's what you're about, it's the way you translate, but the non-physical energy is so much more than any of your physical senses. Let's say it is all of your physical senses and more. So just notice that when you're wanting a sort of visual proof of something, or even wanting something that somebody else can see that helps you to prove it, that there's a reluctance in your expectation, which she demonstrated for a moment as we were pointing at her. In other words, wanting it but reluctant about it. And we were available to be seen, but the knowing that we were choosing her is something that you got to be queued up for. She was readier than she pretends.
Yeah, it's not something I look for. Where I wanted to go with that is that you also was advising the woman to say to the physicist, feel for thought with your solar plexus.
Nothing is more fun than being in your physical body and playing with the larger part of you. It's that blended combining of all that you are that makes for the optimum experience of desire and anticipation and allowing all at the same time.
Yeah. And this actually is connected in my thoughts. The playing, the developing that sense of things coming into being, and that's where the going general.
Developing the sense, that was a really good phrase.
Okay.
Practicing it, looking for it and finding it, looking and finding, looking and finding. But the law of attraction will help you find whatever you think you're looking for. So you got to be clear that what you're looking for is what you mean, and aware. That's what were your words, the phrase that we liked so much, the developing the ability to be in that receptive mode. So you're right, we encourage you to do it on general things or on things you don't care that much about, so that when you make the personal association between wanting the experience and having it, every time you want it and have it, you've developed your skill that much more. If you want it and aren't keenly focused upon being in the receiving mode, it will still come, but sometimes you miss your part in the association of it. You don't think so much about, I knew what I didn't want and I knew what I did want, and then I did my best to deactivate what I didn't want, and I did a good job of activating what I do want, and I developed that skill. I developed the skill of utilizing my emotional guidance system. I developed the skill of recognizing that negative emotions mean I'm in the way of something, and positive emotion means I'm all open to it. There's a lot of things that have already happened before that in the moment recognition. And how are you going to practice an in the moment recognition without an in the moment of something to recognize. Don't run around expecting your Father to talk to you every moment of every day. He's not queued up like that. In other words, there's a reason that you get an answer, because your question is active. There's a reason that you get a solution, because your situation or your problem is active. And so humans are testing things when they're vibrationally nowhere near receiving them, and then they don't think they're good at receiving when the timing's just off. Manifestations for what you want don't happen in every moment of every day, but they happen in every moment of every day when your desire and your expectation are on the same frequency.
Yeah. And I'm starting to get the expectation that what is going to manifest, if I am on the bead of the energy, then I can let in things beyond what I am able to think, because my thinking is from what I know thus far.
That's why we use the phrase surprise and delight.
Yeah.
Because the contents of your vibrational reality, you're familiar with our presentation of this vibrational reality. We call it your vortex. The content of it is everything that you've ever chosen, even before you got into this body, and so much since. So it's all of that, but it's more, because it's what all of that has received, because the law of attraction is responding to all of that. And then it's the cooperative components that have come about, because all of that is resonating in harmony with the other cooperative components. And so there is no possible way for any of you to define with any specificity what's going on in that vortex. But you never intended to translate it with your eyes through the vibrational version. You intended to feel it. You intended to know it. Religion often uses the word faith. Our definition of that would be you sense it, maybe don't see it. Maybe it hasn't manifested quite yet, but you can feel it.
You can sure feel it
coming. You
can
feel it. And that's what you're wanting to develop. Not develop the ability to see it or smell it. Develop your certainty that it's there, and your certainty that you can see it when it matters to you, and your certainty that you're getting better at it every day, and your certainty that there's no requirement or no standard for what's better and what's not better. It's just what you want, you ought to be getting. And if you're not getting what you want, then developing the process more deliberately is in order, isn't it?
Yeah. And having the experience several times, like in the last few months, that it's been a sweet flow rather than an effort, then I've got that practice. I start expecting that.
If it's an effort or if there's tension, then you've got some split energy. And wonderful things can still come. It's just a little bumpier ride. That's all right too. Without some bumpy rides, you don't really appreciate the smooth rides. And if the ride is too smooth, you all get bored.